Well, I put this out that, I've been flip-flopping around on Trump, but you know what? In a lot of ways, there's a steadiness to my thought processes because I keep an open mind about a lot of things, and I still don't trust this guy. I know there's a lot of people on the top that don't want him in because he's kind of a maverick. But then again, it was that way with Reagan. Now, I think Trump is better than Reagan, and he's the best you could hope for. But I guess when it boils down to the real problem is the vast majority of voters out there, the public that is not aware, and often it's the conservatives too. Very, very much so, because I'm just about as disgusted with the conservatives as I am with the liberals. It's like they think since Trump's in office, oh, everything's taken care of now. Oh, he's trying his best. Well, you don't get it. First off, you got to have one guy fix all the problems in the United States. That's telling you got to elect a dictator to do the job, which can be easily undone with the next dictator, right? And the way to undo it, undo Trump, just crash the economy, he's out. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, if he was running against Bernie Sanders, not that I like Bernie Sanders at all, he's a damn communist, okay, but Trump would have lost. Hillary rigged the election in California and all this garbage. She rigged the election, the primaries all over the place. She should not have been running against Trump, but she was a lot easier to beat than Bernie. And even though they had tons of money on her, people had tons of money. Now, one thing that always bugged me about Trump was that he didn't just casually hang around with the Clintons. He was extremely tight with the Clintons for a couple decades before, in the last 2 years before the election, say around 2014, he started changing his tune. It's amazing, if somebody's one way for 8 million years, 20 years, right, or more, and then all of a sudden, oh, no. Say you're playing a game, you wouldn't be this buddy-buddy with the Clintons, see? That doesn't add up. So I'm going to tell you what I think's going on here. And even though I think they don't really want Trump in there, they're going to deal with him, and he's going to deal back with him. He's going to play the game like he's doing stuff, and he's going to do some stuff, but it's not going to really, it's going to slow down the power structure a little bit. Where I think they're going to get rid of Trump, it's going to be this. He's doing the bidding, well, it's my opinion. I know on YouTube, they always think Israel and the Zionists control the world. That's common, perception on YouTube. I don't think that's that way. I think they're one element that controls as power, but I think there's other elements out there that are even, I guess they're on par with the Nazis. If you really dig into what happened after World War II, not only did we have Operation Paperclip, but Adolf Hitler escaped. He went to originally Antarctica, then to South America, Argentina, and he lived for the next 20 years. That came out in the JFK files now, where it proves it. It's been out for quite a while. We knew that the skull that the Russians had of Adolf Hitler wasn't him. It was a woman in her early 40s, which already started making the case that Hitler died in Berlin in 1945 was BS. A lot of top Nazis escaped, man. And I think they've always been working with the U.S. government. That's been my consensus. You see, like, if you're an 18-year-old gate guard, somebody told you when he's 18 years old to go be a gate guard in one of the camps, they'll go after that guy when he's 90 years old, even though that was the only thing he ever did and he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Because he's got no use to the powers. But somebody who's like a high-end scientist or engineer or something, or is very useful to the powers, they'll protect them. They'll give them new identities or do whatever they can and ignore all their criminal Nazi activities. Now, with Trump, he is a bit of a maverick, but one thing I always know about, I don't know anybody exactly in his echelon, but anybody that's got a lot of money is a wheeler-dealer BS artist, and their main goal is money and ego and fame, and I'm a philanthropist, and it's all BS. I'm going to tell you that right now. All of them are like that. Um, you know, compared to Hillary Clinton, he's a saint, okay? But, I look at it like this. If she got in office, what would have happened? Would there been, would the government been overthrown? Maybe that would have happened. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? But, one thing you can count on is that still, you look at some of the stuff that's going on, there's the battle going on between the deep state and people that are patriotic to the Constitution. But I pretty much got the opinion, if you work for the U.S. government, you're not patriotic to the Constitution at all. It's like this for all the way through. They are, I don't care if you're an FBI, CIA, you're an Army, Navy, Marine Corps, whatever the hell you are, Coast Guard, Department of Justice, or whatever, immigration, drug enforcement. It's all about money, career, and, I think that's wrong, but I got to go along with it because orders. That's exactly what they are. They never go against, because the very few that go against what's right or, the wrong things, they'll get outed in 2 seconds flat. And, even despite the fact that Alex Jones has been, ostracized on YouTube, I don't trust this guy at all, man. Never have, never will. I hardly listen to him. Once in a while I do, but very rarely. Actually, his delivery kind of aggravates me because he's he's not too calm when he delivers stuff. It's like he just can't give the facts. He's like, all this garbage. But as usual with Trump, where he's you might say this from one logic: he can't make too many enemies, because if you make too many enemies, you're dead. That's a given. But he's still in with the money, and he's setting up some kind of attack on Iran. I think that's going to happen. There's going to be a war in Iran. I think he's going to be the president that does that. When that happens, you're going to see commodities go through the roof. When commodities go through the roof, the average person's going to be in a financial hurt locker for heating, fuel, gas in a car. You name it. All the essentials. Food is going to go way up. And then Trump's going to have a nosedive in his popularity rating, and he'll be a one-term president. But, that may be what the elite will find a use for him for. In other words, he's going to be the guy that, starts the war in the Middle East and stuff, and which I'm okay with, but I'm going to tell you this. I know on YouTube, you people think one way. I think a lot of other ways. I think the real elite are out to destroy both Islam and Israel. Both. People on YouTube keep thinking, you're Zionist, it's Israel's doing this, and that's what most people on YouTube keep thinking. I think the real elite are out to destroy Islam and Zionism. To me, just means you support Israel, which nothing wrong with that. Israel's supposed to be a big beacon of light on this earth for humanity. That's what it is, right? That's all it is. It's a Jewish nation. There's only one little Jewish nation in this whole world, No problem, man. It's their freaking world. Even if you argue the Bible, if you say it wasn't or was, whatever, hey, it's not that much real estate on this earth. Let the Jews have it, That's the way I look at it. And, the people all around them want to get rid of them. But I think the real elite want to get rid of both of them. And the Christians. And what the New World Order is, I always refer to it as the Nazi World Order. It's going to be like the Nazis. The state is God. That's why I can't stand any of these alphabet soup freaking agencies, the FBI, the CIA. It's a joke now. They got some of the FBI starting to get behind Trump, and I was like, yeah, where you been? In other words, if Hillary was in, what would you be doing? Keeping your head low for your pay and bennies and your retirement? In some ways, I almost hope the whole government collapses, because all these pieces of crap in the government don't get nothing, ever. That might be a good thing. It's one side of it's good. I don't know if that's going to happen or what. That's the bright side. There's always a bright side to everything, but I really can't stand. And I can tell you this: each generation is getting worse. I know my generation, the baby boomers, man, they justifiably said that baby boomers were screwed up, but I know they made it look a lot worse on TV. Most there was a way more conservative baby boomers, in the 50s, in the 60s, even up to the early 60s. Like, people were very conservative compared to what they are today. Then Generation X got worse, and the millennials got worse. Generation Z is going to have they're going to have to go right back to square one. What I think also is going to happen is with Vladimir Putin. There's one thing I always said with Fatima, that Russia was going to be the instrument that was going to chastise mankind for its sins. I don't think Putin is actually a bad guy now, to tell you the truth. I mean, he's not a perfect guy. I know he killed people and stuff, and KGB, but they're always trying to get him pissed off to start something. He's not biting, right? He's actually a man of peace. I mean, I don't call him a saint, but he's got a brain. He's got a reasonable thinking power, and he's got honor and integrity for the most part. I mean, he really does. But I think this guy is going to be the one that's going to give it to the elite more than anything. Him. He's gonna whack him. But I think Trump is actually, in a lot of ways, he's not the perfect choice for the Illuminati, if you want to put it that way, but he's all working in his stuff himself, man. They don't like him. He's a little bit too much of a maverick. But he's going to play his part. And I think he's going to be one-term president. Pretty sure of it, because I'm certain that during Trump's administration, the stock market's going to roll over. The dollar's going to keep sliding down on the index. The price of imports is going to go up. And if the war between Saudi and Iran gets set up, or there's some big conflagration in the Middle East, commodities are going to go right through the roof. Yeah, gold and silver go up, but so will everything else. And he's going to be one-term president. Then when the next one comes in, hang it up. Problem is, the presidency's got way too much power. Now, if you take somebody like Vladimir Putin, he's got a whole hell of a lot of power. That's what's really wrong with this guy. Like, when you got Russia, I mean, compared to the United States, Russia's got a lot of centralized power, man. That's what's really wrong with it. This guy, I never liked people that worship Vladimir Putin. I know that. I mean, I can't stand that, and I think he's fighting a new world order. I don't know what the hell he's fighting for. I mean, he's a Russian patriot. I know that. But I know he's 100,000 times better than Hillary Clinton. And he's better than Bernie Sanders for sure, too. But he's definitely no saint. I can tell you that right now. But, one of the problems I could always say, the Russian system, despite us getting more and more centralized here in the United States, the Russian system is even more draconian and centralized than over here. I guess the only thing good they got going for it is this guy is reasonably, well, he's a logical dictator. That's what the hell he is. He's got a brain. He's reasonable. He's a reasonable guy, more or less. Don't piss him off. I'll tell you that right now. But, everything is a scam. And what I'm looking at with Trump, Bernie was running against Trump. Trump would never have been president. Right? A few years before Trump was running for president, he was all in with the Clintons for the last 20 years before that, too. All of a sudden, he turns on them, right? And I know everybody's like, hey, Trump, they're going after the Clintons. They're going after the Clinton Foundation. The only reason they're going after the Clinton Foundation is because all the people that gave the money into it aren't going to get payback because she's got no pull. Bill's got no pull. Hillary's got no pull. They're not in political office. All the money they put into the foundation is not going to be able to, they're not going to get any payback for it. So everybody that put money into the foundation is going to start saying, oh, I got hoodwinked, because they want a refund, or at least a partial refund. See? It's not like the wheels of justice are freaking turning here. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's just the fact that she lost. She's got no pull, so You know, everybody that gave her money wants it back one way or the other. So that's all that's going on, man. I mean, you know, the other thing is, one is, I get aggravated at the Christian right sometimes, man. They fall into every stupid trap there is. You know? I mean, first off, I'll tell you this. You know, I lean Jewish, right? Because the one thing I like about Jews is this. They actually got to atone. Well, I know Christians, they got to have forgiveness for sins from Jesus, but Jews got to atone for their sins. You know, they got to keep doing stuff. That's what they're supposed to do anyway. I mean, not everybody's perfect, just like Christians and everybody else, right? But they're supposed to keep doing things good and really mean it. You know, it's not like I got this blanket. You know, I'm saved and that's it. I'm done and my sins are forgiven as long as I believe. I hate that stuff with Christianity. That drives me nuts. But I can tell you one thing. I like and I'm Catholic, right? But I can tell you, the Catholics don't want you to read. Catholic don't want you to read the King James version of the Bible, right, or the New Testament, or the whatever you want to call it, the other Testament. The red words in the King James version of the Bible, what Jesus said, they're excellent. They're excellent. You know, at a minimum, Jesus' advice is great. He might not have been actually trying to start a new religion. You know, I don't know. But Christians get little dictators too, man. Just like atheists. Atheists are probably even worse. Liberals are like little petty dictators too. I mean, I'm not into any of this crap. Get lost, man. I mean, just leave me the hell alone, you know? That's why I like Jews, you know, they leave you alone, basically. But you know, I mean, I'm not going to go switch to Judaism, too, because, like, you know, I don't think there's no Messiah coming ever, man. It's just a bunch of BS, too. You know, Messiah's coming someday, yeah, whatever. Keep holding your breath. Anyway. Actually, if I was Jewish, I'd probably I'd get in trouble. I'd go to the Wailing Wall. I'd get a ladder, climb up on the top. I'd get my AR-15 that fires AK-47 rounds, fill it up with a 30-round magazine. I'd pop some rounds off at the Dome of the Rock while I'm praying. Remember the end of that shit. Anyway, that's why I'm like, whatever. You know. But I don't think, what I think's going on really is like, you still got the elite controlling everything from behind the scenes. Trump is kind of like making us think we got some kind of control. I don't think so. I don't think so at all, man. That's my opinion. I think in a lot of ways it could very well be, it's like a half-baked solution, you know? I mean, he's kind of a renegade, and I'm glad she didn't win. You know, I'm glad she's lost. But I couldn't stand looking at this face every day. I'll be like, President, we don't got a president. The hell with that. Let's put a fence around Washington, D.C. But, you know, I look at it like this, you know. Well, you know what happened with her. She got... It wasn't so much they could have still rigged it for her. She had so much. The real stuff on her finally got exposed because of stuff like YouTube. And you know what happened then? YouTube started saying, advertiser unfriendly because we want to squeeze everybody that's bringing out stuff on, you know, the big guys, right? You know? Because Bill Clinton would have never won in 1992 if there was a big, strong internet presence back then. No way in hell. He would have lost. You would have never remembered him. Clinton's would have been nothing. You know that? It would have been done. It's not, and it's not even this that he lost. She lost because the votes. You know, it was like the people that could have made it happen for her, despite, you know, by rigging the votes, realized she just had too much baggage. She would have had an extremely low popularity rating right from the beginning, and there'd have been like, it would have put too much exposure on the people that are pushing her policies, because people be looking past her. So they didn't want her. It's always good to have a quote unquote conservative in there doing all the stuff to control everybody. Which, you know, I don't know. I don't really trust Trump, man. I don't really trust him. And, you know, when it comes to left and right and all this garbage like that, and conservative and liberal, I choose to go straight up the middle. You know, it's like, I do not, you know, I don't get on the bandwagon with any of that garbage. Really. I know I couldn't stand Hillary. I mean, I just think it'd be fun to put her in a cannon and fire off over the Potomac and watch her land or some crap, you know. And do Chelsea. Bill, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind that guy. I don't know why. I kind of like Bill. I mean, I don't like him politically, but he's a funny guy in a lot of ways. But you know, I'm telling you the truth, man. It's very possible, even though Trump's he's a maverick, he's a renegade, but he's been in the loop for so damn long. He's not going to go too far outside of the loop, you know. And the real players that are really pulling the strings, they ain't going away, man. And you know, I think Trump's not going to last. I mean, he might last to 4 years, but that's it. I don't think he's going to be around the next time. I don't know. I doubt it. If he's around again, I'm going to say he's an Illuminati plant, or he's playing a game real well. Like, in other words, he's playing like sort of like Alex. You know, Alex is like, I'm the voice of freaking freedom. Yeah. That was another thing that made me suspect Trump a lot, because Alex loved him. I was like, get out of here. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think Trump was very smart releasing the JFK files, because that's his insurance policy. You know? And that's why I think he released them, more than anything. It was a smart maneuver. Release the JFK files. You know, anything happens to me, public's going to know, because, you know, you already know that they're going to know what happened to JFK. Anything happens to me, they're going to know. The public's going to revolt, maybe. So it helps. That's insurance for them. That helps. There's a lot of cool stuff in those JFK files, though, I can tell you that right now. But it's pretty sad that we got to elect a guy that's a multi-billionaire. You know, we can't elect somebody that's like, you know, somebody was down in the trenches or something like that, you know? Somebody that was really out there risking their neck or something like that. You know, usually somebody that actually, I don't know, fought for this country, for instance. Usually that's what you know. Personally, I think every freaking congressman and senator should be a veteran. You know that? Oh, that would solve a lot of garbage. Actually, today there's less veterans in the House of Representatives and the Senate and the Congress as a whole than there has been since, I think, the early 1960s or something. It's ridiculous. That's a danger too. In other words, pretty much everybody's a career politician. I mean, you got a career businessman versus a career politician. I mean, he's the best you can hope for, because under the situation, you're not going to get anybody in that slot, you know. But I got a suspicion about the whole 9 yards with this damn thing. I don't really think it's like what people think it is, you know. And, you know, I already realize the reason they're bringing in 8 million Muslims into the United States, and they still are, it's just to create tension, you know. The more tension you got, the more rules they can lay down. it's ridiculous, you know. Some ways, there's a couple things I agree with the Muslims on. Tell you the truth, not everything for sure, you know. But I mean, Muslims sure as hell ain't agreeing with feminists. I'll say that's okay. But you know, I really don't. I get more aggravated at the conservatives saying, "Well, at least we got Trump in there now." Sure, buddy. These are people that don't want to think past their nose. You know, and you know, if you want to look at corrupt Republicans, Rick Scott, Florida. Talk about a corrupt piece of shit. I can't imagine that guy, how that guy ever got to be governor of the state of Florida. He's just as bad as the Democrat up in New Jersey, Phil Murphy, that just got elected. He used to be Goldman Sachs. It's like anybody, you know, back in the day, it wasn't Mr. Moneybags that got to be in a high office, you know. People used to vote for people, and they really did serve the people, you know. And I know Trump isn't taking a salary, right? And I don't want to be too hard on the guy, because I think he's the best you can hope for, right? I mean, under the situation, how far the United States has been progressed down the trail of communism. But, you know, when people go to be president, it's never the salary they're after. It's picayune compared to what kind of money they got. You look at even Mitt Romney, or the Bushes, or the Clintons. They're loaded. Clinton Foundation, well, I don't know what it's got now, $1.5 billion or whatever the hell is in there. You know, they got money that you don't even know about. You know, I mean, you can look up on Wikipedia how much George Bush is worth, and that's BS. Like, he's worth a lot more than that. You know, but they don't go into. My point on this is they don't go. None of these guys to go for president go in there for the money, the salary. It's partly the prestige. It's partly, you know, it's part of their persona and all this garbage. But if you're looking at the financial angle, being president, you know a lot of stuff that can help you out financially, mega financially. Far more than whatever the presidency pays, you know, $400,000 a year or whatever the hell it is nothing. You know? But tell you the truth, man, I'm kind of fed up with all these yo-yos, man. But I got a suspicion that Vlad's going to be the one that's going to really take them all out, not Trump. Vlad is going to be the one that's going to drain the elite. Actually, he's going to cook them. That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to be nuclear crispy fries. Go for it, Vlad. I'm okay with that. Just make sure I'm out of Florida. I'm in my hole on the side of the mountain up in Tennessee. Deep underground cave. Right? You can go pull the plug, baby. Get rid of all them damn politicians. I'll stay in here with my cats and stuff. Right? But, you know, I'm just saying. I guess I actually got this thing in the back of my mind. Keep saying, I don't really trust Trump. I know he's not totally bad. I know he's nowhere near as bad as the competition that was up against him, you know. But, you know, people thinking this guy's like, you know, the savior coming in on a white horse, like Trump's the messiah for America. Get out of here. It's BS. No way in hell. If people can think past their freaking nose, they could stop cooperating with a lot of the government garbage. And you can put them under, man. You could do it. But people don't have the balls to do that type of stuff. You know, that's what you got to do. You got to, quit cooperating with anything. You know? You know, to me, it's like, you know, the United States has gone so damn far to control free country that it's it's probably one of the least free countries in this world today. I mean, I think if the United States didn't have all this money in the government and all this technology in the government, it wouldn't be that much of a control freak nation. But the fact that the United States government's got so much damn money and so much technology to control people, I think Americans they're one of the least free people on this earth. I mean, if you go to Russia, Russia is definitely more screwed up in a lot of ways, but then Russia doesn't have, you know, people aren't watching TV and people aren't hooked up on cell phones and people aren't on social media. They're just doing their everyday activities. That might be might be farming, for crying out loud, or doing carpentry, you know. The Russian government doesn't really know exactly what the people think. The American government knows exactly what all the Americans think, because everybody's online. They know everything about everything. That's why the United States is less free. The American government goes broke. It might be the best thing that could happen. So, that might be the case. And I think that's the plan. I think it might happen during the Trump administration. You know? He said, let's make America great, right? I got a feeling the opposite's going to happen. And it's not because he's doing it. He's going to be the fall guy. And, you know, maybe the whole thing's been planned that way. You know? Or maybe he's not aware it's been planned that way. And it could be another thing. Maybe he's not really in on a loop that it's planned that way, you know? Because, like, you know, I think the elite always got, like, plan A and plan B. If Hillary got in, and Hillary could have won, I think the elite pulled the plug on Hillary the last minute because she just had too much baggage on her that the public actually knew about. She's always had the baggage. Bill Clinton's always had the baggage. The public didn't know about it. So they pulled the plug on her. They don't want that kind of problem anymore. That's why they got advertiser unfriendly and all this garbage. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of garbage, man. Advertiser unfriendly. Yeah, everything's advertiser unfriendly that the elite don't want you to know, you know? That's what it really is. But I think we're in for some serious crap during this guy's administration. It's still pretty early. He's only been in, well, he's been in no less than a year, right? Ain't that long, right? I mean, yeah, he was elected in 2016, but he didn't take office. He didn't take the inauguration. Wasn't inaugurated till January 2017. So, come next month, it's 1 year. You know, I think by the time he got less than 2 years, the whole thing's gonna come tumbling down. And people can say, see, Trump's a bad president. Well, that's the way the elite are playing it. You know? Anyway. But I think we can overcome this situation. The problem is, I don't think the American people got enough brains to overcome the situation. Because they take left or right every time. Me, I go straight up the middle. Go for the real stuff, you know what I mean? And people don't do that. They don't want to think for themselves. Over and out.